Hello everyone and welcome to this pick a card reading video. So in this video we will be discussing deck by deck, or I should say stack by stack, what your next partner is going to be like, your next romantic partner. This does not mean that they are necessarily your forever or long-term partner or your soulmate. This is just your next romantic partner. Although I will say for one of these stacks, it definitely is giving soulmate energy to a T, like perfectly. So if you get that one, I'm excited for you if that's something you're looking for. Obviously, if you're looking up these kinds of videos, it's likely so. And each stack has oracle cards. It has 6 tarot cards in each stack, and then 1 oracle card in each stack. I don't think I've used this oracle card yet. It's from the Angels of Abundance oracle deck. And I'll explain more what that means once you pick your stack. Here is stack 1A, stack 2B, stack 3C. You can pause if you'd like and if you need some more time to figure out which stack you're most drawn to. If you find that you are not drawn to any of the stacks, that's completely fine. This just might not be the pick a card reading video for you. I have plenty of other timeless pick a card reading videos on my YouTube channel, including those related to romance and just, a bunch of other stuff in life. As a reminder, everything I talk about and discuss in this video is for entertainment purposes only and cannot be stated as fact. Alright, let's get into it. Hello 1A and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. So the tarot cards are 10 of Swords in reverse, Strength card reversed, the World in reverse, Sage or King of Wands in reverse, Youth of Wands or Page of Wands in reverse, and the only upright card is the last card, which is Temperance. And then we will get to the Oracle card later. There's no guidebook, there's just a little bit of a phrase or some sentences underneath that I will read out later, but the key words are block out distractions. So, okay. There's a couple of different messages I'm getting for this stack. I think in order to explain the personality of your person, your next romantic partner, I have to talk about the things they have gone through and or are currently going through. I feel that a main part of this person's life story at this point in time is that they have had to sacrifice and give up a lot. I see this being somebody who has had to take on the responsibilities of other people, and I see somebody who also, for many of you, or for this person I should say, or yeah, for a lot of you, for this person. You know what I mean. But for a lot of you, your romantic partner could be somebody who had to take on a lot at a young age, and more specifically, like a parental role. This is somebody who, I think, with the Strength card being reversed, hasn't wanted to do all these things and has not wanted to be strong. I think they have not wanted to take on these different life responsibilities, especially at a young age, but it's like they've been forced to. I think a lot of your romantic partners for the future could have grown up really quickly at a very young age. But I do want to say that whenever people talk about how people have to grow up quickly, there's still that inner child that needs hope and healing. And I think this person doesn't have that. We have the Page and the King of Wands both in reverse, and they are both next to each other. So I feel like this person hasn't been given the opportunity to really explore who they are. I think they are somebody who, especially with Temperance being here, also on the bottom row next to these other cards that I'm talking about, I feel like this person has maybe lived a pretty almost monotonous life in terms of they've had things that they've done and that they've needed to do and get done, and they just live their life day in and day out. I don't see much adventure with this person. I see somebody who, again, doesn't know how to tap into that childlike even part of themselves And I feel like they have a hard time having fun because maybe they just were not given that opportunity in life growing up, or maybe just because of their circumstances now, they haven't been given the opportunity to play, have fun, or be creative or explore either themselves or the world around them. With the world being reversed too, I feel like your romantic partner could be somebody who carries a lot of grief, but probably has not processed it. I think they keep a lot of emotions inside. I don't think they're very emotionally vulnerable at all. And I think they struggle with their grieving process and they have held off on being able to grieve. During this relationship, it could be possible that if this is the case, that they start to be vulnerable, but in a way that if they don't have a therapist around, it could place a lot of weight on your shoulders, and it could be traumatic for them to finally reveal to themselves that they've been affected by this major life event, such as a parent or grandparent who's been very close to them dying when they were young, or dying in a very tragic way. For a lot of your potential romantic partners, future romantic partners, I see them being very much in fight or flight, and kind of, I'm visualizing somebody with like a foggy, like a brain fog type of mind, and it's very gray and hazy. And I wonder if there's somebody who doesn't really think many thoughts, and if they think whatever, even if it's just like plain old thoughts like, oh, I have to get eggs at the store later today or sometime tomorrow. I just see that getting very muddled. I think they just don't like to think thoughts, because I think that could be something that's very painful. So I think this person could be somebody who is maybe more reserved, more quiet. I don't see them being very sociable. I see them being more to themselves. And they're the type of person who I think if they do engage in any activities, it's something that's at home. It's something like playing video games. I don't see them going out trying to meet new people. I see them very much keeping their cards close to their chest. And I wonder if they've really lost friends over the years, or if they haven't, again, been given the opportunity to really have friends. If they do have friends, I see it being through maybe their workplace. Some of your potential future romantic partners could also work from home. I think they really try to limit their time outside and engaging socially with other people. I don't necessarily pick up on them being mean, but I pick up on them, again, being very monotonous, doing the same things day in and day out. And because of that, I think they're not very understanding or knowledgeable about many things. I think they just stick to what they know. So that would be something that could really, I think, trigger some of you as well, I should bring up. I see them. It's interesting, because I wonder how you would even be able to meet this person, unless if it's through work. I feel like this person is very emotionally closed off and romantically closed off, so it's really interesting to me how you would be able to even meet this person and then get them to potentially start dating you. So maybe there's something about you that's very comforting, that, and it could be just the right moment in their life where they're finally willing to open up and start talking about their past and how it's affected them. But again, when they do that with you, I think it's really going to be a shock to them as well. So I see it being, if a lot of you are very like parental, motherly or fatherly with your partners typically, I see you continuing that streak with this person, wanting to be there for them, heal them, have them open up. But I see it being something that's also very damaging to you. So I think if they are to start opening up more, it will get them very much in their head, and they won't really have much space to offer love and affection for you. I don't see this being a long-term relationship by any means, but hopefully through this relationship, this other person would be able to, again, start being more vulnerable with themselves, and then hopefully they'll be ready for another romantic relationship. That isn't to say, again, that you shouldn't be in this kind of relationship, because there is something that you could benefit from, and maybe that is that you get closer to stopping that streak of trying to be your partner's parent, if that makes sense. So you can maybe finally realize, I can't just do everything for my romantic partners. I have to reserve energy for myself, and also knowing that you can't completely change people or heal people yourself, and that people are on their own journeys. Yeah, I see a very, very much like big black and gray clouds surrounding this person. So I just think they're not in a very good headspace. And again, some people are drawn to broken people, and that could be you, sorry if I'm calling you out. I used to be like that too, don't worry. Inadvertently, like unconsciously, subconsciously. But yeah, I don't see this person being very adventurous, and I don't see them wanting to do much with their life, rather than just kind of almost stay put with where they are and do the bare minimum to get by. I feel like this person could suffer from mental health issues, mainly depression. And I think they could be very inexperienced when it comes to love and romance and sex and relationships. I mean, if the relationship turns sexual at all, I think you could even be there first. If you know what I'm saying. Or you could help expand their mind. But again, even with that, I don't think they're very open to any expanding of the mind. I feel like they just like sticking to what they know. But through the relationship, I could see that chipping away and them hopefully being more vulnerable and open with themselves. I'm trying to see, with the Temperance though, I can see them being very patient with you in case you're somebody who maybe is very anxious. I feel like there's somebody who, I don't get the sense that they're grounded, but I think they're probably very matter of fact. And it is what it is. So for some of you who are anxious or hypervigilant, or who struggle with feeling like your partner will cheat on you, I think you'll very much have the hindsight of, and the forethought of, this person wouldn't just cheat on me and they wouldn't just like randomly leave me. I mean, if they did leave you, it could even be for no reason, honestly, or without them even knowing. But I think there's somebody who, if they have an issue, even though they're very foggy brained, I think they're very much in romantic relationships, or at least with you, able to say, hey, I don't like this. So I don't see them being the best communicator, but I see them still telling you in some instances if they don't like things, and I see them being patient with you if you really need a partner who is patient, and if that helps you out in any way. I'm sorry, there isn't really much positive in this, but again, hopefully there will be that positive of, that example I said earlier, breaking a streak of the kind of partners you pick. This also could be somebody too, though, that you were friends with or friendly with, and so you get to know maybe a little bit about their story, and so you get to know them, and then you kind of form some sort of romantic relationship from that. Anyway, I want to read the Oracle card now. So I haven't read the bottom yet, but it says this card, by the way, is representative of what. So now we'll get more clarity about what I was just talking about. But this card then is about how this person will add to your life, or how this relationship will add to your life. So all I know is that it says block out distractions. And then it says in the bottom, your life purpose and other priorities need your undivided attention, so it's time for you to take charge of your schedule and working environment by turning off electronics and avoiding anyone or anything that distracts you from what's important. You already know what these distractions are, and you have the power to responsibly block them out. So for some of you, I think you could also use relationships. I think maybe this is how you also connect with this person then. Maybe you almost use relationships as a distraction, or you distract yourself on the another side of the coin, is that you could distract yourself from the negative aspects of a relationship by distracting yourself with work or friendships or social media or whatever. Or if they're somebody who looks conventionally very attractive, you could be like, okay, well, at least they're attractive. Maybe we just don't have to be together that long. I just see you finding distractions first still to prevent you from breaking it off with this person. And maybe you've done that in the past. I think for many of you, maybe that relates. But what was I just saying earlier? Oh, something else I want to say too is that maybe with this person, you could realize that you do distract yourself just in your day-to-day life with a lot of outside things. You personally don't take much time to be alone. And I think you could relate strongly with your romantic partner in that aspect, because I think they are very much the same way, that they just kind of distract themselves and kind of live day in and day out. So maybe you could see this in your romantic partner, and it could be something where you realize that you distract yourself as well, and that you don't want that. You actually want to be very, cognitive? Cognitious? You want to be aware, okay, mentally and physically, and you want to be present, and you don't want to just live your life day in and day out. You want to live your life with more fun, and you don't want to have your past plague you. And so that could be something as well, that you realize you do that, and you see that in your partner, and you realize, I don't want that in myself or my partner. I don't want to live a life like this. And it could really be a very eye-opening experience for you, having the experience of being with this person romantically. And so I think I'll leave it at that. That's everything I need to say. Thank you so much, 1A, for watching and listening to this video. I'm sorry it wasn't super positive, but I am not one of those people on YouTube who does pick a card readings who spins everything to be very positive, because that's just not how life works, and I think toxic positivity can only get you so far. But hopefully I provided some helpful insights for you. And this doesn't mean also, if some of you don't like the way that this sounds, you could always prevent yourself from getting in those kinds of relationships in the first place if you're able to see the warning signs. And again, I don't see this being a very long-lasting relationship anyway, like at all. So I think it will be okay. There isn't anything to worry about with this. But anyway, if you like the video, you can like the video down below. You can comment down below if you resonate at all, or you can comment in the future if you chose this stack and if this kind of situationship happened. And also, I want to say, some of you, it could be more of a situationship, and that's also why it doesn't last long. You're like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. Or you find somebody else or whatever. You can subscribe to my channel if you like, and you can check out the other videos I have on my channel. There are plenty of timeless pick a card reading videos. But thank you so much, and take care. Hello 2B, and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. So the tarot cards are Sage or King of Swords upright, Six of Cups in reverse, Ace of Swords upright, Two of Cups in reverse, Six of Swords upright, and the Death card reversed. And then the Oracle card says obstacles and blocks are lifted. And this Oracle card represents what this relationship or this person adds to your life. Okay, and I will get more to what that says later. There is a little excerpt underneath the card. I haven't read it yet, but I'll read that later. So, I just have to come out and say it, okay? I don't sugarcoat things on this channel. I think it's very possible that your next partner could cheat on you. And if not, I think that this is somebody who is still very much hung up on their ex. I wonder if they had been with their ex for a long time, or if it was just very intense. And with the Six of Cups in reverse too, I think for some of your potential future romantic partners, they could be hung up on an ex that they dated for a long time, or somebody that is specifically from their childhood that they dated for a long time, or that they've ran into again. I think this person is very hung up on this person, and again, with the Sage or King of Swords and the Ace of Swords upright, I think this person is likely to reach out to their exes, or this one particular ex that they're thinking of, and it is likely somebody who is their last ex, or again, somebody who they had the most intense or longest relationship with. So keep that in mind. If you have a bad feeling about this person that you get into a romantic relationship with, if things seem fishy, or if they keep bringing up their ex, I would definitely consider that a red flag, and I would definitely not just ignore it, because that is definitely a sign. Even if they don't physically or emotionally cheat, I see them being very much invested more in what could have been or what was with that prior relationship, with that prior person, other than focusing on the relationship with you. I think this person is also very much a smooth talker. I think they easily get their way with things, and I think that's also gotten them into trouble in the past. I think this could be somebody who has cheated many times, even if they haven't admitted to it. But I see somebody who is very sociable and very much not a flirt in terms of like being overtly sexual, but just being very flowy and easy with their words and able to grab people's attention and making people feel special. But again, not in a romantic way, but it's just like, hey, like, I don't know, I see you wearing that sweater and it's pretty, reminds me of this or whatever. So be careful that also I see this person being good at getting out of arguments, and I see them also, I want to say, for some reason, I want to say poo-pooing on any disagreements or discussions you want to have. I see them being like, oh, well, we don't need to worry about that. And I see them being somebody who has difficulty taking blame. So that's very interesting. This could also be somebody that you meet while either or both of you are going through a major transitional phase, such as somebody getting a job somewhere. You could meet at the workplace. This could also be somebody who is a superior to you, which could be seen as like workplace misconduct. Human resources can get involved, so be careful with that. I see that this person could also already have a partner, but maybe hide it from you, or hide it from you at first. So be very careful about that. I see them being I see them being sociable, but not somebody who is like life of the party sociable, but I see them liking going out and doing things, because I think they like to feel connected with people in a way that they personally like to feel seen and to feel important. I think some of these potential future partners could be people who have big egos, and I think without showing it, I don't think they really show their vulnerable side often, like at all. I think they kind of are the person who makes things into jokes if somebody calls them out or if something bad happens in their life, or they just don't want to talk about it. Like, yeah, that's fine, let's do this funny thing instead. I think there's somebody who could have a very dry sense of humor, and for some reason I wasn't going to bring this up, but I'm envisioning physical characteristics. It could be somebody who's very tall and lanky. For some of you, maybe that will make sense. I don't know, I'm just getting that visual for this kind of person. But I don't see them being highly romantic. I think they kind of treat their romantic partners like one of the bros, or like just one of your friends, and so it's hard to kind of feel the romantic connection, because, and maybe you start out as friends first as well, but I see this being somebody who treats you more as a friend, so it could be difficult to, maybe you like that, it's more of a friendship connection, but if this is a romantic partner, I decided I'd bring that up, where of course you should be friends with the person you're dating, but or that you're in a relationship with, but I don't see them being romantic with you, and I think it could be very tiring if you have to be the one to put all the romantic effort into things. And I think if you were to try and be all romantic and gushy with them, I think it would very much turn them off, and they'd kind of make it into a joke. This person, I'm going to be honest, kind of seems like a jerk. And I see this person being somebody who repeats a lot of old bad habits that they developed whenever, and I think any tactics they use on you that could be negative in nature could have been used in the past, and I see them likely continuing to do it into the future. I don't see this being a super long-term relationship. I think for some of you, you won't realize how this person truly is until maybe even after a couple of years. Some of you, of course, could be shorter than that because I don't see this being long term, but for some of you, I could see this being even a couple of years. And you're like, well, maybe they'll change and be more emotionally vulnerable and more romantic, and maybe they'll consider me more, and they'll hang out with me and go on dates with me more than just wanting to be with their friends, or like have me join that person and their friends. I'm also getting very much masculine energy from this, although it doesn't have to be for all of you. It's just that can be a man or a woman or a non-binary person. That's just more of the energy I'm picking up, because it's very much somebody who is just giving off more masculine and a less emotionally available energy. Okay, what else should I say? Are there any positives that I see? Any positives that I see? Well, again, the smooth talker. So I think without them even trying, or without them having the specific intention to make you feel a certain way, you could maybe feel very, very important to this person, or even if their actions don't match. I think there's somebody who their words do not match their actions, which can be very, very confusing for you. But I see them talking a lot of game, and that could be what draws you in. But then again, after a while, it gets tiring because you're like, okay, have your actions match your words. I don't see them having their actions match their words. Anything else I'm picking up on? They could have been somebody too who, with the Six of Cups in reverse, they could have had a very volatile, or not even volatile, I don't even get that sense. I just think they probably had a family dynamic where nobody really talked to each other, and so people weren't emotionally vulnerable. I think they could be somebody who grew up with neglectful parents, mentors, or parental figures. A lot of them, I think, either were probably single children growing up, so only single children isn't only children, sorry. Single only, you know what I mean, but only children growing up, or they only had one sibling, and I see that sibling being maybe like 5-ish or more years like ahead of them. Yeah, especially a sibling that's older, could be younger, but especially older. And so I see them being very independent at a young age for having to take care of themselves, but also to face problems head on. I don't see their parents having been very constructive or loving to them in their childhood. And so I think that's why your potential future romantic partner, I think, has commitment issues and also has issues with being emotionally vulnerable. I think they could even struggle with their friendships as well once you get to know somebody and then, you want to open up more to them. But this person isn't like that, where it's like they just want to keep things very surface level. I don't see them wanting to be somebody who gets very deep. I see them being somebody who is more likely to be uncomfortable when other people get deep or vulnerable. I see them being somebody who would rather focus on logic and facts than emotions or feelings. I see that being something that would be very uncomfortable for them to be in those kinds of situations. This could be somebody too who is very much a leader in some way. I see them being kind of like a middle of the road leader, so not a full-blown owner or something, but more so a manager, like they manage other people. And that feeds their ego as well, I must say. But as it does probably for many people, positive or negative. But I see them having some sort of leadership, but not full-blown. But I don't think they like being the kind of person who's only, like in their eyes, bottom of the barrel or entry level. I think they like having respect, and so that's why they like having these certain positions of authority, but not so much high up in the corporate ladder or food chain that they have to have or take on so many responsibilities. I think they just like to be kind of middle of the road but still higher up, so in their workplace, they could be something like a manager or like a lead somewhere I think they place a lot of worth on themselves. Be careful too of this person potentially displaying any narcissistic or manipulative tactics or personality traits. Okay, I'm going to move on to the oracle card now. So it says obstacles and blocks are lifted. And this is again what this person or this relationship will add to your life. All your good personal work and your positive energy shift have overcome previous obstacles, and blocks are lifted away. You will now experience progress and forward movement with your projects. Stay centered in gratitude to ensure that your flow of abundance continues. See, that's really interesting. I wonder if some of you maybe spent some time away from dating life, so now you're ready to open up and find somebody to date. So basically, I think this person, potential future romantic partner, could show you what you don't want in a relationship. And I don't see a lot. Actually, I don't want to say that. Some of you could be damaged by this person. So hopefully this will help prevent you from getting in this kind of situation then. But I see a lot of you maybe taking a step back. Or maybe you've just been very busy. And so now you have more time to date. And so you give more time and effort into that. So because of that, maybe you find this person could present as being very driven, even though I don't feel like they actually are. I think they could present that way, if that makes sense. So I think that could be what draws you to them as well. But this person, I think, will teach you lessons of what you don't want moving forward. And yeah, and for some of you, like I was talking about earlier, maybe you repeat the cycle of dating similar people. So this could be somebody that's either different from you, so you just learned from the experience, or it could be somebody who's different from your past relationships, or it could be somebody who is similar, and then you finally just like break the curse because you have more maybe free time to think, if that makes sense. Like you have more of an ability to also recognize what the red flags are and be like, oh, okay, so this person is this way and this isn't what I want to have happen. I don't want to continue to date people like this. So it will be a kind of like a pinnacle moment, a breaking point, if you will, for you either way. But I think this person will just help you ultimately moving forward, realize what you do not want. And maybe you've been, again, the obstacles and blocks are lifted. Maybe you've been very like forward thinking and you haven't had much time to consider why your romantic partner is a certain way, or if there's anything wrong with the relationship. But now you have more time, more resources to be able to clearly think for yourself, is this person right for me, and is this person somebody I want to have around in my life, romantically or not? I think you'll just have a lot more of a clear vision, and you'll be more, I see somebody with like a clear mind. So I think you have the ability to think more clearly about that in that way. And I see you being very logical, but also incorporating your feelings from past romantic relationships. So hopefully that made sense. But I will leave it at that. Thank you so much, Tubi, for watching and listening to this video. Hope you enjoyed. You can like the video down below if you liked it. You can comment down below if you resonate with this at all. And you can comment again in the future as well if you ended up dating somebody like this and if you picked this stack. And you can subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot. You can check out the other videos on my channel. There are plenty of other timeless pick a card reading videos. And I will leave it at that. Thank you, Tubi, and take care. Hello, 3C, and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. Okay, so if any of the other stacks are listening to this, I'm sorry to say, but their stacks were pretty rough. Okay. Now for you, this is very positive times 10 energy, okay? This is a stack that has major soulmate energy. That doesn't mean you have to be together forever, but I see this being very, very positive, okay? So we have the 10 of Wands in reverse, 7 of Pentacles upright, 9 of Wands in reverse, 7 of Cups in reverse, the Wheel of Life or the Wheel of Fortune upright, and the Lovers upright. And then for the oracle card, it says attracting, not chasing. And then I haven't read the excerpt yet, but I will get to that later. Okay. So, this person is chill. I see this person being a very chill person. They could be very hippy-dippy as well, I must say. I don't know if you are as well, but I see this person being very go with the flow, very hippy-dippy. I see this person living a very... I don't see this person living in the city. They could. But I see this person engaging in slow living kind of vibe. So living in a more rural or suburban area. And if they are more in a bigger city, I see them being on the outskirts, out in nature, barely any neighbors nearby. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting. This person, it's not like they don't like engaging with people, but I see this person really enjoying their space to themselves. I think this person could be very well established already within their work. I think they could also work for themselves. I see them being hard workers, but also, working for themselves. I mean, they could even be a farmer. They could be somebody who does kind of handiwork or any form of labor, but I see them doing potentially work that's very helpful for people's day-to-day lives. So think plumbing, carpentry, all that. It doesn't have to be. But I see something like that as opposed to just a random office job. Something very useful and handy is something you should keep in mind for this potential person, and also something where they could work for themselves or work at home. I see, it's really interesting though, for some of your potential future partners, I see them having been people who maybe dated a lot in the past and now they've really slowed down. I think these people are completely fine with being alone, and they are happy with being alone, and I feel like this person really engages with their community on a pretty daily basis, and that's how they get a lot of their happiness or how they encounter people socially. I don't even really see them going out and about a lot. I just see them on a day-to-day basis, especially if it's for their work. They could work for themselves, but also travel to people's homes or places of business. But I see them engaging with people more on a day-to-day basis, as opposed to maybe going to the movie theater on a Tuesday night. I think there's somebody who likes to save, and that they don't like to spend money frivolously. I see them being happy with their home. I feel like that's something I really should bring up. They're very happy with their home base, and they feel very safe and comfortable there. And so maybe they don't leave the house very much. I see them being, they're able to hold a conversation, but I see them being very introverted. So, I think their social battery probably drains pretty easily, and people maybe wouldn't be able to tell. I think they're very good at, again, being going with the flow, but they need a lot of alone time. And they would still need alone time if you two were to be together. I think their love language could be quality time in terms of just sitting there, and even if you're doing different things, or sitting there and not even talking, just cuddling up together, doing something really simple. This is somebody who is very much more a minimalist, and somebody who likes the simple life. They don't like things going by really quickly, really fast. I know we have the Wheel of Fortune here, which oftentimes points to wealth in people's eyes or new beginnings. But for me, I feel like this card mainly signifies how you really struck out with this person almost. I think this person just makes the most of life. That's a good way to describe it too. I think they make the most of life. I think they're a very positive influence in their community. That they're a very good and positive person with pure intentions. And I don't think they're the kind of person that would lie to you. They're somebody who takes life as it is, and they roll with the punches. They don't get super anxious about any bad things that come up. I think that they're able to, again, roll with the punches. So any negative events that occur, they're able to very calmly figure out what they should do in that situation. And they could obviously do that for other people as well. I see them being somebody who's very romantic. We have the Lovers card here. But I see them being very romantic and very loving and kind towards you. And I think whatever your love language or main love languages are, they are going to try and match that. And again, they're all about simplicity. So I think it's all about the little things. They will try to do little things that add up to being big things for you, such as buying you flowers or writing a little note before you head to work and like you didn't know that they had put it in your lunch bag, something like that, where it keeps the relationship and the romance alive, and it just makes you feel very seen, special, heard, and wanted, where it doesn't feel like you have to keep asking for them to do certain things for you. You don't have to ask for them to hold your hand in public like multiple times. If there's things like, yeah, like that, holding, maybe let's say your love language is physical touch. I could see them being the kind of person who they're like, okay, well, yeah, something like holding your hand, that's easy. I can do that. And if that's something you want me to do, I would be happy to do that. Like maybe my love language, my main love language isn't holding your hand in public, but if that makes you feel happy, then I can do that. Like, especially the simple requests you have, they are definitely able to see eye to eye on that. And I think I was trying to bring this up earlier, but I think they could have been somebody who did date a lot in the past, but now they're not. I think with the Seven of Cups in reverse, it could also indicate that maybe they haven't dated much in the past, or maybe even, especially, I was bringing up, maybe they live in a smaller area. Maybe they know pretty much everybody in their community already. So maybe it's hard for them to date because it's like there's not really any new people moving in or out. Or at least moving in, I should say. Maybe like that are their age, and especially that match their beliefs. Especially if there's somebody that's more hippy-dippy in a way. I think it's really hard for them, for where they live, to find somebody who matches their beliefs. There are certain beliefs that this person is not willing to negotiate with. They're very go with the flow, but they're also very much a person with morals, and so they won't just settle for anything. I see that as well, where they won't just settle for any person. They want for somebody to add to their life like they can do for another person, and they want that kind of balance. They don't want to just be with any random person. They want to have it be long term. I don't see them being somebody who really engages with frivolous relationships, although I don't think they judge other people for that. I don't think that's for them. So they look for the long term. So if they're not able to find or see long-term potential in somebody, then they'll let that person know, and then they'll just be fine, like, by themselves doing their own thing. I see them being a very passionate person. They could also be very creative, but I just see them being very passionate in everything that they do, and also very passionate for the people they care about. So they aren't just going to treat you like some random person in their life. They will treat you like a very special person. And again, even if it's mainly by those little things or like the simple things they say. It's interesting. I think they're a person of few words, but also they're a person who's willing to have long and deep conversations with you, depending on the situation, the circumstances, other people that are around. But I see those small words they say to you, those brief little words, those will be what you really cherish. And I just see this person being very, to you, very charming. I think to other people they could be a little bit, maybe not as fun, but to you it's like, I don't need all the glitz and glamour. Hopefully you think that way, at least. I just want somebody who loves me and cares for me, and this is the kind of person who will love you and will care for you. I see this person being very handy and resourceful and doing things around the house too. I see this person being somebody who like thrifts, who doesn't really go to big fancy stores or restaurants. They just like the simple things. This person also, I want to say, could like to cook. And I just see them being very receptive and very adaptive. Even though I think they like to live their life the way it is, if it's, again, something like, oh, can you start cooking with me? They will be able to do that with you instead of you just cooking all the time. It's like, hey, can you learn, if they're not like a good cook for whatever reason, it's like, hey, can you learn to like maybe once or twice a week we can cook together and we can do meals together. We can, do this, that. And I think they're very open and receptive to those kinds of things. Again, as long as it's not like negative in nature, as long as it's not something that's very I want to say like loud or overbearing, but it doesn't have to be like audibly loud, but something that's flashy. If it's not anything like that, if it's more like simple stuff like cooking at home together, this person is very receptive to that. Now, if you're somebody that's like, hey, my birthday's coming up, remember that I really like expensive gifts, they wouldn't feel comfortable with that from a moral standpoint, and I just see them really not being into that kind of lifestyle. So they want somebody to match their lifestyle, but they're still willing to learn and change and adapt, as long as it isn't something that's too contrasting to them. I see, if you are looking to have children with this kind of person, I see them being or with your next partner, I see them being open to it. They may be kind of 50-50, and maybe for them it just kind of depends on who their partner is. I think they could be fine either way with having kids or without, but that's something that they'd really want to have long discussions about to figure out and make sure that you're on the same page. This is the kind of person that I think you could even go your whole time being together without ever marrying, or you could be dating for like 8+ years, like some long amount of time before ever proposing. And I see this person too being the type of person where, this is how I am too, where if you get engaged, I can see them being like, okay, well, we're engaged, let's just get married tomorrow, or skipping that engagement step altogether and just being like, hey, can we just get married whenever we're both ready instead of having to go through engagements. They're very low-key, I imagine, so I don't think they'd even maybe want a wedding. If they did, I think it, again, would just be very low-key, something maybe even at your home. And I just feel a nice warmth and comfort with this person. This is somebody who is going to be a safety blanket for you, and is somebody who, even, like, they're a very passionate person, and I think they're really ready, once they meet you, to be more romantic. And they also could be somebody who, if not your age, they could be somebody who's older than you. But I see them being very well established and having their life put together, and not really needing outside help for much. So let's go to the Oracle card now. It says, attracting, not chasing. Anything or anyone you chase after will run the other way because of the fears underlying chasing energy. Instead, attract what you need by sending out love, gratitude, and welcoming energy. And it's really weird because I think this actually relates to both of you. Again, this person is low-key, go with the flow, but I think that's the type of person too where your potential future romantic partner is very easily able to manifest because they're so go with the flow, like the set it and forget it kind of method. So I think they could be somebody who is able to, not only are you likely to attract them, like this soulmate type of energy, but they are also going to attract you. They're not going to put like a bunch of time and energy into it, just because I think they're also the type of person like, yeah, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I think the kind of person you are matches well with their belief system, which is really important to them. I think physical looks at first for them could be important, but then, I think they're a lot more deep than that. But I think they could find you attractive, but then more so obviously when they get to know you. And as long as your beliefs align, there's really a big indication of certain beliefs aligning, and also making sure your lifestyles align. Like, I don't see this person really wanting to move anywhere unless if it's somewhere like similar to where they are now. But I see them having a really good, strong connection with their community too. But so yeah, I see you also having to maybe make quite a few compromises. But I see it being something that in the long run you're okay with. Maybe at first you're like, I don't want to really do these things, but I'll do it anyway. And then you'll be like, oh, okay, well, actually, this is okay. It'll be fine. But I see you both attracting each other. I see you spending more effort or time into doing so. But also at the same time, remember, it's attracting, not chasing. So don't go balls to the wall every night doing this. Place your intentions. Maybe do something cute for your manifesting, for your attracting. And then just be open and receptive to whatever comes your way. But remember to not focus just on looks. Focus on their personality. Focus on their beliefs, because that's a big factor here. Also, I just gotta say, for this person, especially if you're trying to attract somebody who's a man, or male figure into your life. I see this being somebody who's like one of those hipster guys. It could be a hipster girl as well. It's kind of more of an androgynous slash slightly masculine energy, but they definitely have a lot of femininity to balance out their life and their personality as well. I don't see them being overbearingly masculine. For deck 2, I actually, or stack 2, I was feeling more of that masculine energy, but I see this also being somebody who's very much a protector, so they're very protective of you and your heart. But yeah, so I just pick up on that slight masculine energy. It doesn't have to be somebody who is masculine or a man, but I'm picturing this whole time for the reading, I've been picturing like a hippy dippy guy with long blonde hair. So that could be validation for some of you. And I'll see them having like a muscular build, but I don't want to focus again too much on physicality because that's not what the reading's about. So I would throw that in there because that's what I keep seeing. But I will leave it at that, 3C. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked the video, you can head down below and like the video. You can comment down below if this resonates with you in any way, or you can comment below in the future if you end up finding this person and if you feel like it really is soulmate energy. You can subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot. And I also have plenty of other timeless pick a card reading videos all throughout my channel. Thank you so much and take care. Thank you so much for watching and listening to this video. If you liked the content, make sure you subscribe, like the video, and comment down below, as it really helps my channel out a lot. You can follow me on my socials listed here on the screen. Thank you and blessed be.